Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar, How to Pump Up Your Video Strategy Today. My name is Eliana Raggio and I'll be your moderator today. Today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. For anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the award-winning Chameleon responsive website platform. Now, earlier this year, when we got back from NADA, we were awarded the Driving Sales Dealer Satisfaction Award for top-rated websites for an unprecedented 6th year in a row. We also took home the AWA Award for Best Websites, plus FCA announced that we are now an approved vendor. Big things are happening over here at DealerOn this year. We're still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. You want to know more? Yeah, you do. You can check us out at DealerOn.com. On July 19th, David Kane, Jennifer Suzuki, and Corey Mosley are hosting an amazing conference in sunny Irvine, California to help dealers get the most out of their digital side. These three powerhouse figures in automotive are sharing their experiences and knowledge with you in the Internet Sales Performance Summit. Sean Rains, also known as The Hair, is a featured speaker at this show, and he'll be talking about the impact of search engines on your dealership. Don't miss this one, guys. For more info, check out InternetSalesPerformanceSummit.com. We have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Andrew Myers as our presenter today. Andrew Myers, also known as Mr. Wronghouse, is co-owner of What's Next Media, an automotive video company that delivers immediate results for their dealer clients by making powerful and unique message-based video programs. Andrew began his career selling door-to-door and eventually at automotive staffed event sales, where controlling the customer's attention and moving them through the process are the only ways to be successful. Andrew left his successful position in this automotive industry when he discovered a unique way to build even more control with digital customers by using the power of video. His current passion is building eye-catching video and valuable content to slow the customer down and offer compelling reasons to buy throughout the online sales process. Andrew is a lifelong salesperson with a passion for influencing customers' decisions and mastering new ways to control the sales process, and he can be reached at Myers at whatsnext.pro. During the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, we're going to try to respond by email later today. Don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference, and feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at What's Next Media, they're giving away a tremendous prize on today's webinar. One lucky attendee is going to win a free, I hope I say this right, smooth cell phone camera stabilizer. So whether you do testimonials, walkarounds, or BDC video emails, this cool piece of portable equipment gives your videos a professional look every time. This is a great prize for you and your dealership. You have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned. And who knows, you might be the one walking away with this awesome prize today. Also, at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to get a short survey. So fill it out, because we're always looking for quality feedback from our audience, and we want your opinion to be heard. And hey, do you tweet much? We hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation, so please tag us in it. You can use hashtag DealerOnWebby. I'm at Eliana Raggio. You can also hit up Andrew Myers at Emerstan. We look forward to seeing what you're saying. All right, everyone, let's get started. Let's learn how to pump up your video strategy today. Andrew Myers, first-time DealerOn webinar presenter, right?
Yeah, I wanted to thank you for that. I really enjoy being here.
Well, I've been following you for a while. Your viral video and everything was pretty cool. Yes, I have watched it. And yes, it did give me, it did give me agita, as they say, the Italians. If you haven't seen the video, trust me, you're going to want to check it out. But if you have seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. So, Andrew, I know video is kind of, excuse the pun, but it's in your backyard, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I'm so funny. You have to see the video to understand what that joke meant. Anyway, Andrew, thank you so much.
On that down the line.
So thank you so much for being here today. And I love that you picked this topic because so many people are kind of struggling with their video strategy. So I know you have a lot of great videos to show us today. So we're going to be seeing a lot of those. Audience, get ready, get strapped in for that. And why don't you tell the audience the kinds of things that we're going to be learning about today?
Awesome. So I'm going to blow through this pretty quickly. I got a lot to go over. I know we have a limited amount of time, And so obviously feel free to fire any questions that you guys have immediately using the control bar on the right, and we'll get to them here at the end. But I want to try to leave some time, so we're going to move fast. So, but my objectives for you guys' takeaways is to key in on the right reasons to make video. Like you just said, a lot of people struggle with this, and the reason they struggle with it is they haven't gotten the right goals in their mind, and the reasons to make video are not the reasons they're actually making video. And that, that's where the gap in results comes from. The other thing we want to do is we're going to discuss the right types of videos to be creating. I talk to customers about videos all the time, and it's amazing how many bad ideas are surfaced out there that don't really connect to how that video will be used and don't really connect to what that video is supposed to do, what it's supposed to sell. So we're going to talk about making videos that have an express purpose during the creation of the video so that you know exactly why you're making it, how to make it, where to use it. And we're going to also quickly go over the proper testimonial questions. This is a bit of a departure from the rest of this presentation, but I think it's really important because there's definitely a right way to ask a question so that you get the right response, which you've seen in reality shows where they get them to narrate things that were 2 hours old, and they do all that by asking the question in the right syntax. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we've got a great handout that will go over a lot of the setup stuff for how to set up a testimonial, what to ask them, how to do it, and we even included a privacy release form. So we got all this stuff in one little package there. And we're going to discuss, and I think this is probably the most important, we're going to discuss the key areas that exist right now in your digital funnel, the thing you already pay to stuff full of prospects for using videos. So obviously there's some great opportunities to attach a paid budget to a video and get some great results. But for no money, you can have a really steep effect on these people who you've already paid to put on your Facebook, are already paid to put on your auto trader, already paid to put on your website, and already spent a pretty penny to get a lead from in the BDC. And then lastly, or not lastly, but we're going to also pretty excited to give away this Smooth cell phone stabilizer. It's such a simple tool. It just makes doing videos a lot easier because it actually turns your phone into the video camera, but keeps it nice and smooth and professional so that you don't have to worry about trying to transfer it to a computer, but the customer won't care that you're doing these on a cell phone. Great prize. And then obviously we're going to have a question and answer session, which I'm going to burn through this pretty quickly because I want to try to save some time to field actual questions about what people heard. So those are our objectives. I think we can do them. What do you think? Sounds easy.
It sounds easy. It doesn't sound simple, but I like where you're going with this. Where do we start?
All right. So the first question is why to create videos at all? And it's a very, very, very important one. The first and most obvious answer is that it's the gorilla on the roof. I mean, you have to understand there's dealers that spent whatever, 12 grand, 16 grand for a giant purple inflatable gorilla. I mean, if I had told you that, you probably wouldn't assume that would move the needle for you. But customers operate on perception. And what they don't know, they fill in with blank information. So the videos are intended to send the message at all times that you're more relevant, you listen better, you're bigger, and you understand what the customer wants to know and how they want to have access to that information better than the other guy. And it used to be on a Saturday, people would drive around town and they would look more heavily at the dealership with a 18-foot purple gorilla. Now the videos are standing in that gorilla's place and helping the dealer stand out so that people recognize them when they're shopping their 7 websites on a Saturday instead of the 7 dealerships. The second one is you have videos for the same reason that you have closers. And what a closer does is he builds a problem in a customer's mind that didn't used to exist. The other dealership might offer you that for the car, but you got to keep in mind the trade-in. We're a Chevy store. We'll give you more for your, so the closer creates a problem and solves it with his close. Well, videos can do the exact same thing, and it's a great reason to have them, to remind customers that you might not care about this particular value statement that our dealership puts a lot of effort into creating for you, but you should. And that's something that you really can't accomplish any other way than with a video or with a closer that's in real life. The other one obviously is to extend your brand's reach, whether that's through SEO, whether that's through Facebook marketing, whether that's through sending these through the BDC. It allows you to take your brand messaging and take your value statements and just extend how far they can reach so that you don't need someone in the showroom to make an argument about why they should consider buying from you. And then also, just to build an identity for your brand. We made a lot of these videos for customers in the past, and at first I was always shocked how much the commentary that would come back was about how they showed these dealerships or these videos to new hires. Like, it helped them sort of establish an ethos, establish, you know, what am I looking for here? The mission statement. And it's a great way to say, this is who we are and this is what we're about. And that identity extends not just to customers, but to employees. So it's a great way to just put down on record what you and why your dealership does things the way they do. And then this is a great one. If you buy a book on 100 closes, you don't get a lot of feedback when you go try a close on a customer of how well it worked. You just don't. They might buy, they might not. It's an A-B sort of situation. When you make a video and you watch that video, everything you don't like, whether it's your makeup or the audio or the way you set it up or the way you worked on your words, you'll notice, you'll learn from it, and it will improve with literally every single video you make. So if you make a video and it's terrible, it's still worth making because the next one will be incrementally less terrible. And if you rinse and repeat that process enough, you eventually figure it out. That alone is a reason to invest time in this particular area, because you have to own the future and protect your brand, and understanding how to become, in some senses, your own media company and get these messages, you know, encapsulated digitally and get them out to customers will be one of the key weapons you need in the future to even have a brand. If your website doesn't do anything but offer inventory and offer pricing, believe me, a third-party tool will come along and do that more efficiently than you can. So, quick story, and this speaks to why to make videos. My very first day in the car business, I had come from selling toys. I thought I was going to do a pretty good job. I answered all the guy's questions. We didn't have the car he wanted. I put him back, gave him, I'll give you the best deal. I gave him my card. I spent a lot of time with him. I asked him a ton of questions, and I put him back in his car, gave him my card, and I came back inside, and everybody was laughing at me. Because the car business is not about giving somebody all the information that they ask for. It's about slowing the customer down. You have to do that. And then taking in a little bit of information about them, giving them a little bit of information about you, and that's where the glue that makes the phrase "bring them inside" count. That phrase doesn't mean anything. It's that what you're actually doing is slowing the customer down. And this is what videos are for. If you let somebody come to your site, harvest all the information they're interested in, you're not going to fare much better than you would if you allowed your sales guys to just give all the information about the car, the availability, the pricing on the lot, and then walk back inside. So videos are a way, when you put them in your process, like we're going to go over, to engage the customer throughout and literally slow the customer down. Now, you might not hear enough of this from your web company and your ad company, but go talk to your used car salesman or your general manager, and I guarantee you this is a phrase they're saying to themselves and the employees and the staff several times a week. It is the car business. Slow the customer down, divert their attention, and on digital, video is how you do that. So let's talk quickly about some of the video types worth creating. Customer testimonials are great. I'm going to go over these quickly because they all have their own slide. They're a great way. Customers do not want to hear from dealerships. They want to hear from other customers. That's who they trust. And when you use peer faces to make your point, then you quite literally are bringing social proof to your brand. The other one is how-tos and feature videos. These are some of the most searched for content out there, so it's a great way to introduce people to your video library, get them in on one of these videos, and then start hitting them with these other types while you have them on the website. But these are very attractive videos. They're videos that are great for the BDC, because any of these features that are on a car, if somebody's interested in a vehicle that has them, this is now relevant content to be sending to that customer. The last one, or another one, is model line reviews. Obviously, this one's pretty straightforward. It allows you to attach these ones straight to your VDPs. Obviously, there's a great use in the BDC. And when you're remarketing to a customer or trying to target people in your market, being able to have content directly related to the vehicle they're interested in is the best way to capture that first glimpse of their attention, so you can start that diversion process onto the reasons to buy from you. The fourth one is sales process and CRM videos like data mining and BDC. And then the last one, probably the most important one, is the value proposition and branding videos, where we tell customers why doing business with us will be in their best interest. Which, if you think about how you run your car lot, that is the part of the business that we all get paid to do. Is this other stuff is all just order taker type positions. But the salesman in us knows that we need to slow that customer down and eventually build value around what we can do while they buy that car, and not just the car themselves, which includes trade values, pricing, selection, all that stuff. And these are the most important video because these are the ones that we want to talk about, and the customers want to talk about these other ones typically. The last one, which is possibly the one that's moving the needle the most for us in the last 12 months, is digital ads. When you build a library of videos, it's a powerful tool to be able to back up and actually make sure that everyone who's in your funnel, anyone who's on your website, has unique ads that are different, that are explaining exactly why they should buy from you, that will go reach them on their social media platforms, on their couch, at their job, and wherever they happen to be. So we have a first poll question.
Oh, yes. All right, audience. We only have 2 poll questions today, and the first one is on the screen now. We would love it if you took part in our poll questions. Lets us know what's happening in your dealership and dealerships all around the country. So here we go. The question is, what do you think are the odds that your dealership hires an in-house content person in the next 10 years? Please select one of the following answers. Do you think it's likely that you're going to do more than 70% that your dealership is going to decide to hire an in-house content person? Do you think the chances are between 40 and 75%? Do you think it's less than 40%? Or do you think, you know what, we already have an in-house content team because we're already up on that, or zero? Our dealer doesn't spend any money on anything. There is no chance whatsoever he's going to spend money on an in-house content person ever. All right, so once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll and share the results. And it's funny because I'm kind of giggling at this question because, you know, it was even as long ago as like 4 years ago, I think, that we've been talking about how important content is and that content is king and all, you know. So the fact that, you know, there's still dealers out there who don't think that an in-house content person is something that they ever need to worry about kind of scares me. But we're going to see what today's audience had to say. Huh?
Not for everybody, but you're right. The fact that a majority think this might not be a need, maybe not now, but in the 10 years is the question. I'm trying to gauge where people think this is going, because I think TrueCar is going to come and eat our babies if we don't start figuring out how to build reasons to buy from us and build fresh flow of daily content.
Now, just so you know, we had a comment that came in from Elliot I'm going to tell everyone about while the votes are still coming in. Thank you so much for your votes, audience. Elliot says, our in-house content team is not a specific department, but an expectation of our BDC team. Time and energy.
I love that.
Really, time and energy from our BDC team is spread kind of thin, though, because of it. So, you like that?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. And here's the reason why. It's personable. For me, in my business, I just needed to hire a new editor, but I really wanted another graphic designer also. So I recruited twice as hard to find somebody who used to do graphic design that wanted to learn to edit. So I doubled down. I got them both. And I think dealers need to, in the BDC, be training people that already have a usable skill set. And why would you not want to pick somebody who's not afraid of a camera, who knows how to be on BombBomb, who knows, you know, to me, I'd be hiring and training people that, like he's saying, already have the ability to do 2 things at once. I mean, I think a single person on a content team can do a lot of damage, but not nearly as much damage as a 6-person BDC that gets it.
Well,
so if you build it into your culture instead, I would say that's even better.
Okay, well, Elliot, thank you so much for that. We did stop the poll. I'll go over the results in just a minute, but real quick, Ann wrote in, I do the social media, the graphic design, and the videos. Jeez, Ann,
put your number out there. You'll get recruited.
You're a rock star, Ann. All right, now you should come to Women Automotive. Okay, let's share the results from the poll question. All right, here we go, everyone. A quarter of today's audience, 25%, said that they feel their dealership is more than 75% probably, hopefully, going to hire an in-house content person within the next 10 years. So that's a quarter of today's audience. 17% of today's audience say maybe between 40% and 75% sure that they're going to hire an in-house content person in the next 10 years. Only 10% of today's audience said that it would be, less than 40% chance that we're going to get an in-house content person at our dealership. The majority, however, big majority, 44% of today's audience, holy moly, they say they already have an in-house content team. That's awesome.
Well, good. Then we got the right people on here.
Yeah, and then the remaining 4% of today's audience said zero chance. There is zero chance that our dealer is going to spend any money on something as awesome as an in-house content person or team in the next 10 years. All right, so where do we go from here, Andrew?
All right, well, let me just say that it is a risk. I mean, there will be dealers that try this and the person is wrong. There'll be dealers that try this and the person's too good and they quickly become someone they can't afford. It's a struggle. I mean, this isn't like just buying a couch, but it's an area of operation that you need to get better at. And like I said, every video you do, you improve a little bit. So to me, this is an area like finance that dealerships need to start acquiring some skills in, but it doesn't imply that it'll come without challenges.
Well, let me just tell you, we had some more people that wrote in about the kinds of things that they do, and this might help you out for the rest of your presentation to know that we have people that are doing all these different things within their dealership, and a lot of times on top of other responsibilities as well. So Jamie wrote in and says, I do all the internet marketing. Oh, I have to. Well, all kinds of people are writing in. I do all the internet marketing and put YouTube and Facebook videos out every other day to get the top Google spot. Whoa. Renee says, I handle all the graphics, social, video for a growing dealer group. We currently have a BDC that was recently hired on. What, in your opinion, oh, well, that's a question. I'm going to have to hold off on the question, Renee, but I appreciate that. All right, so we have other people that wrote in about all the stuff that they're doing as well. Let's tie it in with questions. So I'm going to just keep going. We're going to hold those questions to the end. But I love that you're writing in questions, audience. Keep those questions coming. I'm looking forward to a nice, robust Q&A session when the time is right. All right, Andy.
If we run long, I'll answer those questions individually after the fact. So if you have a question, you'll get it answered. Just fire away.
Okay, you got it. Thank you so much. All right, where do we go from here?
Okay, so we're going to start to break down each one of these types of videos that we went over, and I'm going to show you guys just a very quick example of a video that I feel like is a good example for that particular type. So the first one would be customer testimonials. This is vastly low-hanging fruit. Every customer that you have in your dealership tells a story. They might be a mom, they might be somebody from Burien, they might be somebody who just bought a new house, and whether you realize this or not, Facebook has targetable categories for all of those different things. So every single person, whether they buy a car or not from your dealership, is marketing dollars that are flying out the window if you don't have a process to capture their feelings about the dealership, about the marketplace, and play those back to customers just like them, you know. It's social proof. You know, when I was in the car business, when I was a young pup, it was the social proof manual that you left on your desk full of handwritten notes. Well, now you have the ability to build that social proof into your brand, and testimonials is how you get there. So the first thing that, most of this stuff, guys, I'm just going to hit you with bullet points that I think will kind of help frame the argument around these. So the first one is this. It's not all positive. Make sure you're real. When I listen to a testimonial that says, these guys are great, they're the best, they're the smartest, they're the fastest, they're the funniest, that guy's the tallest and probably the most handsome, it starts to turn into advertising. And customers are very allergic to advertising. So the trick is to hide all of our actions in these videos as content, as something that they feel is like watching a YouTube video or getting education and not like getting an ad. So what I want to hear from a testimonial is how they got there and their experience and all the usual stuff. But I want to make sure I tell that testimonial up front. I don't need you to be more flowery than you really are. I want the truth. I want the real voice inflection. Make it believable. Make sure people feel like they're hearing from a regular person. I'd rather hear these guys didn't have exactly the car I wanted, but I looked around, they had a great inventory, and the car I got is perfect, right? I'd rather hear an 8 out of 10 soundbite than a 10 out of 10, only and simply because it's more believable. And that has got 20 times more traction than being phenomenally complimentary to the dealership. The second one is make sure that you're telling a story. Like I said, everybody's got a story. I'd rather hear, as a mom, I don't have a ton of time, so it's important to me that when I come to a dealership, because then I can target that to moms. I can send that to anybody who's in the BDC who mentions kids, right? So make sure that you hunt for, and I'm going to show you guys the standard testimonial questions. You would ask those of everybody. But make sure outside of that scope, you're trying to tell something, you're finding a narrative about each customer. Either they were frustrated and that's why they came back to you. You did a great job 10 years ago. That's why they came back to you. They have no clue what type of car they want, and it's important that they get a great experience. Whatever it is, find a story and tell it. Don't just let it become a 30-second compliment string about your dealership, because people will eye roll and bounce. Third is get B-roll of each testimonial. The trick when you do a testimonial is not to record somebody for 3 minutes and create a 3-minute video. It's to record somebody for 8 minutes and edit that down to a 2-minute video or a 1-minute video. And when you make those edits, you cover those edits with B-roll. So what I mean to say is, if you imagine the news or anything else, when they're cutting from one interview to the next so that you don't see the awkwardness of somebody's face moving, they cover that with a shot of their experience. So I hope this may be above, that part might be a little above the pay grade of some of the people listening, but I know others of you get it. It's important that you have footage and pictures of the event where that customer was there, because that will help you clean up your edit, which you'll see here in the example of our testimonial that I'm going to show you. And then lastly, one of the biggest problems when you have a testimonial is that customers give you very short statements or very long-winded statements. So they either try to do the whole thing in one shot, or they tend to go, yeah, it was good, right? So I've found that the phrase, tell me a little bit about, is the best way to set up a question. So I would ask a question like, I know these guys work really hard on the trade-in process here. Tell me a little bit about what the trade-in process was like for you, and did it make a difference for you, right? So I ask these sort of sandwich questions, and I guide somebody towards a longer, more explanative, about what happened, right? I don't get, yeah, it was good, because this tell me about phrase, and I've been doing these for 6 years now, is a golden arrow. It really is. For some reason, tell me a little bit about gets people in this 4-sentence response time that's perfect for editing. And it helps them focus not on everything, but tell me a little bit about the trade process. Tell me a little bit about your sales guy. Was he good? Was he bad? And how did you feel when you were done, right? And if you ask these questions that way, you'll get really, really concise, detailed sound bites about specific things that you can edit together to make a whole story. So let's just watch one really quickly that we've done here about 6 months ago for a Kia dealer, I believe, and you'll see a lot of these factors folded into this video.
Okay, let's see if we can turn up the audio.
It was easy, it was convenient, and they worked around our hours. Pricing's always important. I think the thing that Kia does for us is they didn't look at what we couldn't afford, but what we could afford, and we gave them what we wanted, and they were able to find us what we needed. When I'm at the Kia dealership, I feel as if my questions are answered quickly, efficiently, accurately. I never felt the pressure to buy. I never felt the pressure to make a snap decision. I was able to get exactly the car I wanted at the price that I wanted and drive it out of the lot on the date and the time that I wanted.
So you can see that it sounds like she left that like a voicemail. It sounds like she said it all perfectly. There's about 8 edits in that video to get that narrative to sound concise and quick and simple like that. And you don't notice it because we're hiding it with B-roll of the event. So that's exactly how to create these so that the end customer watches it like a movie. They're not staring at someone's face the entire time. They get lost in the B-roll, and the message can be a lot more concise when you're able to edit out all the stuff that's not fast-paced and to the point. Bueno, how quiet was that? Could you hear it?
That was awesome. That's a great video.
Yeah, that's their video, not mine. I mean, I made it, but.
When you say you made it, were you were there and you asked her the questions, or they gave you the stuff, they gave you the raw footage, and then you cut it and spliced it together?
Well, it's actually neither. So I was there, but my team created and asked the questions.
Okay, got it.
But but I trained them.
Almost the same thing. All right, go ahead, keep going.
That should count, right? I feel like that should count. All right, so I'm going to flow through these testimonial questions because these are actually replicated in the handout that you can find on the control bar on the right. So I don't want to spend too much time on them. But you'll notice that a lot of these are sandwich questions. It's not tell me where we are. It's 3-4 things at once so that we get a nice 3 or 4 sentences at a time. Tell me who you are, where you are, and what you bought today. Why did you buy that? What's your favorite part about it? How did you find this place, or what brought you in today? What were your expectations when you arrived? And how do you think that went? Tell me a little bit about that. What's the most important thing for a dealership to get right for you. Because sometimes you don't want to actually have these salespeople say, these guys did this, these guys did that, these guys did this other thing. You want them to say, me, as me, I care about this. I care about that. This really means something to me. If they bought from you, it's implied that you possess those virtues. But to somebody who's listening, it makes it more palatable that this person describes wants and needs of their own buying process and not a string of compliments about the dealership. So let the customer explain what's important to them and just imply that you met those needs at least half as often as you say you did. If I was in the market, where would you recommend I shop and why would you tell me to shop there? And then obviously this is normally the final soundbite that we get on a testimonial. So somebody says whatever they're going to say. They say, you know, if a friend of mine was in the market for a Chevy, I'd tell him to go to, you know, Bickford Chevy because the people listen, the selection is great, and it's just a great place to be, right? And that's the best way to end a soundbite because it's a very subtle way to place a recommendation in there without it sounding like advertising, which that's the buzzword that we want to avoid. If the customer feels like they're watching an ad, they will bounce in the next 30 seconds. So the next one is these how-to and feature videos about the actual things on the vehicle, not the vehicles themselves, but backup cameras, installing sync, you know, blind spot awareness, all those things. So remember, when you make these videos, just like on the lot, I don't want to hear an overview of you know, a basic generic overview of these features. I want you to remember what we do on the lot. Show me the feature. Tell me the benefit and tell me the advantage. Make sure that you keep these in that syntax. There's a feature, benefit, advantage. If it works in sales and it works on the lot, those are the techniques you need to use in your videos. Feature, benefit, advantage. Try to show the customer's response. A lot of sales guys I see doing 5-minute feature videos. Those are A, unwatchable, but B, people don't want that. What they want to see is just a quick look on somebody's face when they experience a backup camera for the first time, or when they find you know, a power seat trick that really, or when they first feel the cooled seats touch their butt, right? I want to see emotions. I want to see customers, and so do other customers. So make sure you focus on the customer's response to this feature as much as the technical specs of it, which that's the same as this one. Focus on the feelings, not the details. Tell me how cool it is. Don't tell me how many meters out in front of the car it senses. Or do both, at least. Remind viewers to come try this feature. You know, every one of these videos needs to have some type of a call to action so that when the video's over, you hopefully have inserted one foreign idea in this person's mind. When it comes to a feature, benefit, advantage, you want to go, I know you didn't know how this product works. Let me show you the basic premise of how it operates. But folks, you got to see this one for yourself in person. Call me and I'll set up a demo, right? Bang. I'll even come to your work and we can try this on your lunch break. Make sure that you build in calls to action about experiencing these features yourself. And then here is a example video of a video that we have actually on our licensed product for, I believe, a Ford store. Let's find out. Oh, this is Toyota, obviously.
With all of the innovative technology that Toyota packs into their vehicles, driving has never been safer. Our system uses multiple types of sensors and synchronized safety technologies to give our vehicles the ability to sense and avoid accidents at an enhanced level.
When I'm in a car, I want to make sure that I'm safe, and more importantly, I want to make sure that my kids are safe. And with a blind spot monitor, I feel completely safe. I don't have any worries when I take my kids out. Ooh, that's so smooth.
From features like dynamic cruise control to the pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, Toyota's advanced safety technology will let you simply enjoy the ride.
The camera technology is really good. It is actually telling me, it's showing me the other cars that are parked, and it's actually showing the rear curve as how far it is. So this is really nice.
You can find these great technologies and more in either the standard Star Safety System or the available Toyota Safety Sense packages. These comprehensive features create in-the-moment safety designed to support your awareness and decision-making on the road.
Really helpful. I have small children and I drive my family around a lot, and anything that helps me avoid hitting them or hitting another car while I'm driving is a good thing.
It sees around you, and I feel confident that my car has got my back.
If safety on the road is your primary concern, we've got you covered. So come on down and let us find the right safety package for you.
Wow, Wow, that was really good.
Thank you.
I loved how you incorporated the video from the OEM and added in all of those real people in there and made it their own. That's really nice. That was powerful.
You just blend them together, man.
I like it.
So that might have a little more production value than the average dealership's going to crank out. That's actually part of our Toyota licensed product that comes with all the Toyota models and features and everything. But the heartstrings that we're tugging on could be done with a lot less production value, right? I mean, pretty simply. So next is the model review videos. So this obviously is what our company is known for. These are very difficult to make in person, but they are important. I mean, I can't help but recommend that you just call me. But if you want to make model review videos, here's the key. It's all about brand perception, not vehicles. I mean, I think our model reviews are pretty awesome, but I tell my clients up front, I do not expect somebody to watch this Accord video and go, that's it, I'm not even looking at the Toyota anymore, right? We're not going to be able to impress people about the vehicle that much. But if we position the video and the way we take credit for having created the video right to the customer, it's the gorilla on the roof. What we're actually trying to do is sell the vehicle or the dealership's brand perception, and to get the customer to see us as a more relevant source, as somebody who's listening, as somebody who gets it, as somebody who's invested that extra money to make their experience better before they even get to the lot. When you present a model review video to a customer, it's got to be, look what we made for you, not check out the Camry. And that's extremely important. If you're going to make these, make them to edify yourself. Think about, for those of you who've worked on a lot, think about why you do walkarounds. You don't do walkarounds to sell the customer. You do walkarounds to sell yourself to the customer, to show them you can listen, to show them you can respond to the needs analysis, that you can tailor the walk around to what they've told you, to build a friend, to build rapport. All those things are you selling yourself. So use the video walk-arounds the same way you use your real walk-arounds, and make sure that you're being engaging, have personality. Secondly, let the brochure be the guide. The dealership or the OEM level people spend a ton of money to put the items and the features in the brochure that are technically or specifically are advantages in the marketplace. If that feature or that model line, if they do a great job of prioritizing the features that you should talk about on each car. So most of the time the brochures arrive right when the car does. When you're sitting down to compose and we even do this, when you're sitting down to compose what you want to talk about on each model, let the brochure be your guide, and you'll find you can cut the amount of time you invest in the research orders of magnitude. Keep it short. This is the key. I have a Facebook group that's a great resource. It's called the 30 Frames Per Second Automotive Salesperson on Facebook. And we have a lot of people there that make these videos on a regular basis. It sounds like we have a ton of people here in this thread or in this webinar that are doing the same thing. We'd love to have you come share those videos at this site, and you'll find a bunch more of them there. And one of the problems that I see regularly is that when sales guys go to make videos about vehicles, they tend to make a 5-minute, 9-minute, 12-minute video. Customers do not have time for half a TV show about a car. What we're selling is a very quick perception about you and the dealership and trying to gain some attention. If you go through a 12-minute model video, you have wasted 12 minutes of your life probably. At least 12 minutes of somebody's life. So understand that these videos are not walkarounds. A good walkaround is 5 or 10 minutes, but no one will stick around to watch 5 or 10 minutes of your video. So you have to prioritize which features, which items, which things that you feel like putting in this video, and it is the most difficult part. So just keep in mind that these are not real walkarounds. You're not selling every feature on the car, so decide which ones give you the most sizzle, make sure they make the video, and make sure the video is at or under 2 minutes. And then lastly, above and beyond anything else I've said or done, video watchability is the top priority. As I'm going to show you here, and I've kind of mentioned before, we want to draw people's attention with these model videos, but we want to quickly divert, and I'll show you how, that attention onto our value propositions. If our first video loses their attention, we will not get them to watch the second and third and fourth. So that's like saying we will not get them inside. They'll be out on the lot kicking the tires of the car, but then they're going to get back in their car. We want them in our showroom. We want to tell them about ourselves, tell them about our history, tell them about our trade process, tell them about our pricing system. won't get that opportunity unless this first video that they're actually interested in is watchable. So make sure it's short, make sure it's good before you worry about it being anything else. All right, we're going to watch a quick example of this. This is a model review that's part of our license package.
At Marysville Ford, we are the fastest growing Ford dealer in the state. Today, we'd like to talk about the 2017 Ford F-150. The use of high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy not only makes the F-150 lighter and more agile than ever before, it's also one of the reasons that it can haul and tow more than any other half-ton pickup. It's also the only pickup to earn an NHTSA 5-star safety rating and an IIHS top safety pick. Come with us as we take a closer look. The bold front end shows off a powerful 5-bar style chrome grille along with halogen headlamps and fog lamps. Rugged alloy wheels add refinement to this truck, and with the flexible class exclusive box link system, you can attach and tie down your cargo safely and securely. And the available LED box lighting makes loading and unloading a breeze even when it gets dark. The interior of the F-150 is packed to the brim with comfort and convenience features like available front bucket seats with power adjustment and lumbar support. The comfortable steering wheel houses convenient Bluetooth phone and audio controls. Voice-activated sync technology helps keep you connected with features like navigation, music, and Siri seamless integration, all through the easy-to-use color touchscreen. You'll also find plenty of space in the rear with features like a class-exclusive fully flat rear-load floor and under-seat storage. The F-150 offers 4 engines so that you can choose the right combination that matches the requirements of your work. The 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 delivers robust performance with up to 8,500 pounds of maximum towing. The electronic 6-speed transmission with tow haul mode and sport mode improves power delivery and lets you choose which range of gears are best suitable for your needs. Numerous advanced airbags protect passengers that are in the cabin. Available Bliss uses radar sensors to alert you if a vehicle is detected in your blind spot. And the available rear view camera makes reversing or even parking easier than ever before. Ford F-150 is engineered to be the hardest working, most productive Ford that's ever been built. So come down and see us and check out the 2017 Ford F-150.
Hey, that was my voice.
Wasn't your voice?
Those might be a little bit more production value than what most dealers would put into it, because I've got 20 different Ford dealers that help me offset the budget that I use to create that content. But when it comes to how we presented it, that's the key. Is I don't want to see a sales guy talking the whole time. You know, the sales guy can do a voiceover. I can just hear him. I want to see the car, man. You know, keep it simple. Okay. And then the next one, process and CRM videos. These are extremely important videos to make because there's such a easy way to fold them into your existing business model. So for one, help your data mining strike gold. If you're going to try to talk somebody into upgrading into a new model, having a model video about the new model just makes sense. If you're going to want to sit back, you can make videos with your general manager where he tells people, hey man, the car that you have is really sought after right now, and I got a couple customers that want it and I can't find it at the auction. I got a couple customers who want that car and I can't find it at the auction. So if I'm going to overpay for it, I'd rather overpay for it from a customer of mine. If you make that video, you never said their name, you never even said which car that they're making, but that will have a massive influence on somebody making a decision about whether or not they believe that email that they got that you want their car, right? So people don't believe emails because there's no emotion in it. So let's do a video that's the same thing and see how people respond to an actual closer's face when he looks frustrated about not being able to find that car. Now you're selling. That's what motivates people. Body language, tone of voice, voice inflection. So look at all your data mining and try to convert it into videos. Every CRM milestone is a potential video. So whether it's happy birthday, whether it's, hey, you've been in your car 2 years, same thing. Look at all the emails that your system is automatically generating and look at how easy it would be to digest those into actual videos, knowing for a fact that the emotional appeal that you're trying to make to this customer is going to be orders of magnitude heavier if you bring in somebody's voice inflection, tone of voice, let them see your eyes, as opposed to sending them an email. And then these are more for like the BDC. Tell your customers what to expect. I mean, for one, we're not selling, we'll get more into this in a minute, but we're not selling cars. We're selling appointments, baby. There's only one person in the dealership that sells cars, and it's the finance guy. The rest of us just talk about it.
That's the theory we're going with? There's only one person who sells cars, and he's the finance guy?
He's the only one who sold any cars in a dealership in the last 40 years.
Okay, you got it.
Sales guys talk about cars, marketers talk about cars, general managers talk about cars, but every car I've ever bought was from a finance guy. So make sure that you're focused on selling the appointment and the experience and not the car itself. So VIP appointment process. Guys, this is why you should set an appointment with me. This is what you can expect. The car will be pulled up. Guys, this is what our trade process looks like. We don't do we don't do book appraisals. We do a hands-on appraisal, right? The more you can reveal about what your experience will be like for a customer, the easier it is to make their decision. They don't need to be sold into coming into your dealership. What prevents them from coming in is fear that it'll be a bad experience. So tell them what to expect. Even if it's just basic, it's better than what they're expecting. And then, like we already hit on this, sell the appointment instead in the BDC. Obviously, the customer wants information about the vehicle, so you're going to give that to them so that you are doing your job and being relevant and can gain trust of that customer. But when you need to make sure that in your own mind you've distinguished the difference between trying to sell a car and just trying to sell an appointment. Because there's so many other times when you could just shut it down and go, that's a great question. Can you make it in tonight so I can look at that car? Because I've got a manager who's here tonight who's only in once a week. He's normally at the auction, and he's the one that I want to get to appraise that. Now, I haven't gotten any closer to selling the car, but I bet you I get that person to swing by. So make sure your goal is on not selling cars. Let your finance guy do his job. I had my audio pop out there, but let your finance guy do his job and you do yours. Oh, let me show you what one of these videos might look like.
Show me.
Designed to be a red carpet, white glove experience, our VIP program aims to make you the star at our dealership. At Sarasota Ford, whether you're coming for a test drive or for a vehicle appraisal, you'll meet our VIP manager, and he'll introduce you to a product specialist that already knows what you're interested in. The vehicle of your choice will be pulled up, gassed up, and cleaned up just for you. In less than 5 minutes, you can already be driving the actual car that you came here to see. Let us be the first on your list to set a new standard for car buying. You know Sarasota Ford will save you money. Let us also save you time. Get the right vehicle at the right price with our VIP experience. Call, click, or email below to schedule your VIP experience right now.
Fired up. That was, of course, before I had the beard. Back when I was
going to say, you look handsome. Did you shave just for the video? Should people shave for the video? That's the question.
I wear my beard as a badge of honor of how long it's been since a customer has made me get in the studio. Yes. And now I don't get carded for beer anymore, which is great. All right, so
wait, do you charge extra if you're in the video?
No, I mean, our clients actually own me as talent, as odd as that sounds. So we, when they sign up for the license for our content, they actually get a talent agreement for me exclusively in their area. So that's why the Mr. Wronghouse situation was kind of funny. I had to put the right spin on that because, like, you know, everybody was calling me Slugger. All right. It's true. So this one is the most important one. It's the value proposition videos. All the rest of the videos are misnomers. They're there to get people's attention, but our goal is these videos. We want to earn enough trust with these previous videos and our process, which we're about to get into, to get people to eventually pick on the value proposition that that interests them the most, right? Because we can't do a needs assessment online. So we want to put all these different pithy statements out there about our different values like trade, selection, pricing, inventory standards on pre-owned, so that customers can push their own button. They can hit the video that keys in on their particular interest. If you have an old guy who's never his Buick's been garage kept, and it's been washed every week, he's gonna click on the trade appraisal process video if you can get him to the part where he has the option to do so. So first of all, you can't solve problems that don't exist. If you allow me as a customer to believe that I want a blue Fiesta, so selection and variety doesn't matter, then you can't exactly sell me on why your selection matters, right? So you have to remind customers, even if you just want one car, it's best to be able to go somewhere where you can see that car and all the other ones like it, all the colors and all the features, so that you can make the best decision possible. And then it's even better, like in our video, if you can get a customer to say that instead of you, right? So make sure that you understand, in order to actually tell somebody how your value helps them, you have to remind them you have to identify a problem and remind them that your process will solve that problem. That's the most important part, is to identify a problem and solve it. And I see a lot of value videos that go, you know, here where we are, we really train hard. We want to work hard, and we want to have all the best knowledge for our customers so we can give the best experience. Okay, great. But what I want to hear is, hey, here where we are, we understand how difficult it is to know everything about these cars, but also customers want us to know everything about all the competition's cars too, so that they can help, so we can help them compare. So I just created a problem that maybe somebody hadn't thought of. They're like, dang, you're right, knowledge does matter. And that is the most important thing. Now when I get into how much effort, which is the third one, always discuss the effort that goes into solving the problem. I had a guy one time tell me, I said, talk to me about Toyota's your training standards. And he said, well, Toyota has the strictest standards in the industry. Well, what do I care? What I want to hear is Toyota already has strict standards, and here at this dealership, our standards go above and beyond that on a daily basis. We're training both on, you know, I want to hear about what effort that you put into solving this problem, because that's the sizzle. That's the thing that you're saying you do that other people don't do. So make sure that you never try to solve this problem without describing the work and the effort that goes into it, so that they understand this isn't something that's going to be easily replicated at another dealership unless they're doing the same work we are. And then lastly, this is kind of a theme for all of these, where possible, let customers confirm this effort's value. Don't say, hey, listen, we do a hands-on appraisal of your vehicle because we want to get the trade appraisal right because we think our customers like it. You say your part and let the customer come back and go, listen, my car's in better shape. I've got new tires on it. It's only 6 months old. You know, since I've got it out of this service department, and I've got all the records. So it's important to me, right? Let customers confirm that this effort that you're putting in is felt by them and matters. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see what we got.
At Kia Puyallup, we understand that everyone has a tight budget, and that every dollar we can save you on a vehicle purchase matters in the final payment.
Problem created.
Sometimes in a competitive market, the only way we can make a better offer to our customers is to invest more in the vehicle they're trading in during the purchase. We make the extra effort to hand inspect each trade rather than just rely on book values. We consider where a car was driven, how it was maintained, and in addition, we offer our customers up to 125% of Kelley Blue Book fair trade-in value for your trade-in, because we understand how important trade-in value is to our customers.
It's really important for me that the dealer is going to give me an honest and fair price for my trade-in when I, bring my used car in to get a new one.
I want to know that I'm getting the best deal. It's just as nice. It gives me peace of mind. I know that I can always return to the same place. I don't have to worry about going anywhere else.
We put the extra effort into evaluating your trade-in so we can invest that money and earn your business. If you want the best deal you can find and more money for your trade-in, come see us at Kia Puyallup, because we listen to our customers and we get it.
I like it.
Right, and then so we've got those for trade-in, selection, pricing, respect for your time. We've got that same format for service videos, and like I said, the customers are the ones that talk about what it means to them, and the dealer's the one that talks about the effort. And it's a really clean format that you can use to talk about yourself anytime. I'm going to start speeding this up a bit. So digital ads here, Facebook and YouTube, there's obviously a million opportunities here. Every targetable situation on Facebook is a potential video. Advertise your content, not ads. So take things that you've made that like we've talked about, can be perceived as content from customers. Put them in their feed as information, and don't even try to sell a car. And you're going to find that your engagement goes through the roof, and people ultimately only interact with you to buy cars anyways. Keep this content short and sweet, obviously. People online, your views are predicated by how many people have already watched it in a lot of cases. So the better your video performs, the lower your budget's going to be, and the more people you're going to reach. More ads equals more impressions. We have customers that have 30 or 40 videos that are current and relevant from us that they like to show customers. When they run 40 ads and your dealership runs 3, if basically once somebody has seen your 3 and not interacted, you're kind of done. With them, they'll see all 40 before Facebook gives up. So what it does, it creates a 2-week window where you're dominating their Facebook, and every single message they see is different. Again, the gorilla on the roof, the perception value is through the roof on that. And then just like everything else, customers want to hear from other customers, not from dealers. Don't put your logo at the front of a Facebook video unless you feel like you need to. This one might actually have this. This is an earlier one that we had done. But your logo is not the point. You know, what they want to see is a customer interacting on the lot, a customer giving a soundbite appear. And if you give it to them in that way, they'll consume it a lot more heavily. So this is a video that's really interesting. We made this with Auburn Volkswagen near us out here in Seattle for Starbucks team members only, because I want to show you guys how detailed you can get. And this is why you need an in-house content team or an access to a ton of content, because with these targeted opportunities that exist, you need targeted content to get to them. So this was a video he made for an incredibly small audience. And if you reach out to Matt Welch, he'll tell you he cannot go to a Starbucks now without being recognized. And his budget on this is hundreds of dollars a month. I mean, he hit them all. It's crazy. And it's not expensive because it's a small audience. So it's just a front-end loaded task. You put the effort in to build the content, buying the ads and all that is super, super inexpensive. So just look at how this plays out.
Are you at Starbucks? At Auburn Volkswagen, we just want to say thank you. We love Starbucks, as you can tell by the 2,200 points I've earned right there. But we love Starbucks team members. We love what you do in the community. At Auburn Volkswagen, we do very similar things in the community. The way you give us customer service and the way we're treated from your leadership on down. So if you're in the market for a car, for service, for parts, we want to love you and bless you the same way you treat us when we come into the store. So thank you so much, Auburn Volkswagen, making lives better, especially for our Starbucks team members, one Volkswagen at a time.
So we
That's
actually went
super
to the,
cute. That was super cute.
So he has 40 of those. And I was at his dealership creating those with, I mean, obviously we came home and had to produce the B-roll. There was a lot more involved, but we have that on file now. But for Matt, his investment was 45 minutes. He rattled off 40 of those, or I think at the time it was like 22, and then we went back.
He has one for Starbucks employees, and then what? He has one for like firefighters, and he has one for veterans. I mean, what are you talking about?
He has people who like animal charities. Just to give you an example, he has veterans. He has new moms. He has people who love soccer. He has 5 or 6 local employees, like employers like Boeing and stuff like that. You hit it on the head. He's got firefighters. He's got Navy. He's got Army. He's got veterans. He's got, he said people who love baseball. He's got people that, you name it. I mean, I actually should have made this a handout. We went through Facebook and plucked out like 40 or 50 good targetable affinities, and you can sit down and make ads for each and every one of them. And what he does is he sits on those ads and he plays them as people are in the market. So like the Starbucks one, he actually did as a blast, which is why everybody knows him. But the rest of these, he doesn't play them to every fireman. He sits back and targets people who have been on his website or are in market and are also firemen, which is key, because then that fireman video lasts 3 years if he wants, and he only spends time talking to in-market firemen about it. So it's a pretty powerful way to take advantage of what Facebook has provided, and it's super, super, super simple content to make, and it humanizes the dealership. It's a message from the manager to a specific person.
I love it.
I know. This is like my new baby, is this Facebook stuff. Fun. It's cool to make these videos and know exactly where and how we're going to use them rather than, Okay, so I'm going to fly through this because I know we're pressed for time here. It's the 5-step sales system that I learned selling toys door to door. Introduction, short story, presentation, close, and rehash. So this was, hey guys, I'm out here today. My name's Andrew. By the way, we got a whole bag full of toys here that we got, for whatever reason, and then you put the toy in their hand. That's the presentation. Try to sell it to them, and then rehash is trying to sell them the next thing. This is pretty standard 5-step sales system. What I want to do is draw the equivalence between this and your digital funnel. Your introduction is on AutoTrader and third-party sites. Your short story is your website and your landing pages and your VDPs. Your presentation of the actual opportunity, which is an appointment, not a car sale, is your lead responses, emails, CRM, and the close of the actual car happens in the showroom. So we want to focus on using videos for the lot experience and the showroom experience. And then the last one is marketing, remarketing, and data mining. So first of all, introduction, AutoTrader, Cars.com, and Craigslist. It's all about the first impression. These are where people are meeting your dealership at, And it's very important that they get the right perception about who you are. This is where you want your brand statements. If you look, there's 4 relevant videos attached to this Sarasota Ford, and you already saw that one of them is the VIP appointment video. It goes on every model. The other one is their pricing video. The other one is the model review video for the Escape or the F-150 or whatever they have. And then the other one might be pricing or selection. I'm not exactly sure. But they obviously stand out in the crowd because they're the only ones with 4 relevant videos. But then when you go there and actually find out, they're all 4 relevant videos. So one of the things that's interesting, your videos are actually ready before your pictures are. I was going to grab another screenshot here. I have customers all the time that have a stock photo for the photos. But because AutoTrader sorts the videos, they've already got their 4 relevant videos sorted there. AutoTrader does the sorting for you, which is key. This isn't a manual deal. You spend 30 minutes setting it up, and they'll sort the video to the vehicle you tell them to, or the situation you tell them to for the rest of the year. And then merchandise your inventory. Don't just leave it there. Be relevant and offer relevant video at no cost to you. AutoTrader will not charge you more to have 4 videos telling people why to buy from you. So why not? Why would you not merchandise your products with your offering? It just makes sense. This is what it looks like when they open the lead. You can see the 4 videos there at the bottom, and you can see them. You can see how it plays exactly where the picture would. So it just is a simple way to slow the customer down and build some reason to buy from you into your pricing and all the rest of it. The second one is short story, which we're going to talk about how to build landing pages on your website to host these videos. But I want to quickly talk about how YouTube does this, because we're basically copying off of YouTube. So this is that Mr. Wronghouse video that you were talking about. That was a viral video that happened to me. It's actually got more views now. It's just under 10 million. But somebody tried to break into my house, and it was they kind of caught a hilarious beating on my front lawn, and and it turned into a viral video, right? So the reason that this video got to 10 million views is because you have to understand the role of related videos. So now I got a certain viral rating, and when people are watching other fight videos, my video shows up over here in the related videos on the right, and that's what feeds a lot of this traffic. And we want to use that same gimmick to feed you traffic on your dealership site. So the first thing is, notice on YouTube, every video has its own URL. So even though it feels like you stay on this page and go from one video to the next, the reality is they're all just identical pages that are different. SEO value is unique, and because they have their own link, you can hyperlink people straight to the page they want to watch. So advertise your videos using pictures. So this is one of my favorite soccer websites, and you can see here in the main chunk there's 3 videos, 3 play buttons, right? You see those? None of those are videos. So think about that. Those are not videos. Those are what we call dummy images. They're an image with a play button on them.
Come on.
Well, that's how everybody uses videos online. Go to CNN or Fox News or ESPN, and what they'll do is they'll use their home screen to show you pictures about a video, promising you the video, so that if you click on the video, you go to a dedicated page to watch it, just like YouTube. So this is the key URL, and here's the content. And that is the way the entire internet uses videos. They don't want this video spread all over their website because it scatters their SEO value. They want it all hosted here. So when MLS makes this, they'll put this link to this page on Facebook. They'll tweet this link. They'll put dummy images on the home screen, and dealerships need to be operating the same way. So here's a DealerOn website with a client of ours, Faulkner, and you can see the same setup. They've got a URL for every video. They've got their related videos here on the right, why choose to buy from Faulkner, why buy a Volkswagen, what they've done in the community, and then their model review videos that they've licensed. So this is where a customer lands, and this is that same site unpacked with one of those categories unpacked. You can see they have inventory variety, pricing, trade values, and as you click on those, you're going to go directly to those pages. This is the place we want to get people, and this is how we bring them in on a model, and they eventually discover on their own all the great reasons to buy from us, because we've built something that feels like YouTube. We didn't try to invent something new. We tried to reinvent and copy literally exactly what YouTube did, because that's what people are used to, and that's what tells them that this is content and not advertising. So these are very simple pages to build, and I believe DealerOn already has an existing template with us, so we can literally fire this up on your website within a matter of days, and it'll be added to exactly what you already have now and just sit on the back end. So this is what you see at Faulkner. When you land at their main screen, you can see this picture right here on their home screen that says check out our video library, see the Golf model review. And if you click on that picture, you're hyperlinked back to that URL, that landing page where the Golf model review lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's how people need to look at merchandising their website, is with imagery and not by sprinkling videos out all over. As you can tell, this is a goofy styled image. It's 5 times wider than it is tall. And that's the key, is that you can slide these in. They can be skinny and fat or long and short or whatever it takes to fit and look good on your website, and it directs them right where the video lives. This is the VDPs, so don't forget to talk about yourself in your VDPs, just like on the lot. Getting them to your cars is not enough. You have to distract them. So you see at the top, the banner is a large organized inventory with great variety important to you. Watch video. So the first message on their VDPs is about why to buy from them. And then you see this big blank chunk here underneath the request test drive. A lot of our clients will actually have us develop icons for them, or you could develop them yourself. And a simple icon that you put here can then be hyperlinked right to the landing page where that video lives. So you can add pricing value statement, trade-in value statement, you know, all these value statements right here along the bottom, and it's as simple as just adding an image. You're not adding a video to a VDP. You're just adding a tiny little icon and then hyperlinking it back to the video. And there's not anyone out there that can't do that. And
you house the video on YouTube, or you house the video someplace else?
Well, I house the video here on the DealerOn website.
Okay.
But I host a YouTube video on this page.
Okay, got it. So you frame it in. Yeah.
Yeah, I upload them to YouTube, and then I just embed the YouTube video on a page from my real website.
Okay, so that picture that you put on there, it hyperlinks to a landing page on the dealership website with a framed-in video from YouTube. How'd I do?
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So like if that banner was about pre-owned vehicle standards, it would take me right here.
Okay.
And then, like I showed you here, these are the model reviews. So the video that you would go to for the Golf is actually in that 2017 model review dropdown.
Got it. Yeah. And
okay, so
is it wise to have, like, if you have a 2017 model review, you have one for every kind of car? Like, this is for Volkswagen, so you would have one for every model?
Well, I think every dealership needs to spend their resources wisely and probably start with the most important and work their way backwards. In our case, we do every model. So our clients have every model, but our clients probably spend less on every model than people would spend trying to create 6 on their own. You know what I mean? So you have to decide what methodology you're going to use. If you're on a budget, you might do your 6 most interesting models.
Okay.
It's up to you, but I would recommend doing them all. Okay, so lastly, step 3 in the presentation. Obviously, I believe that the best thing for you to do at this spot is to pretty much call Elise Kephart and get on BombBomb and send customers your real face and smile at them and make sure they like you, right? That's the best part. But beyond that, I just want to show how simple it is to include a picture here and hyperlink that picture right back to that same landing page. Is a wide variety of vehicles important to you? Bang, right? So for me, the advice that I give is to try to make sure that you're not selling the video, you're selling how well you listened to the lead. So like, hey, I know you mentioned that your price is important to you. Check out the pricing spotlight video the dealership just created, and I'll call you in 20 minutes, right? And then the methodology for including the video in your email, and I just use this as a generic one from my Outlook here, but as you see, I put a picture in there that has a play button on it that kind of looks like it would be a video, but then I just hyperlink that picture back to the page. Simple, simple, simple. And there's no CRM out there that can't do this.
Okay.
Nothing sophisticated about it at all. Just a picture and a hyperlink. But to a customer, you basically very neatly included video right into your email. So prove that you're listening. That's what I was saying before. Make sure that you write a segue to why that video would matter. Not, hey, check out our pricing video, but hey, Deborah, you mentioned price was important to you, and of course it is. The dealership just recently made a video all about our pricing process. Check it out, right? Make sure you show them more than a video. Make sure you show them that there's a human being on the other end listening to their needs. That's the best part of having this content, is that it allows you to show that you're relevant. Include images and emails, not videos. That's pretty straightforward. Hyperlink images or text back, because you can also hyperlink, like click here, do that sort of thing, right? You don't need to use an image, but make sure you're using hyperlinks out of that email back to your own landing page on your own dealership website, preferably DealerOn. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Well, no, you guys actually built a really nice template for me, and it's easy for me to flick on for my clients. So I have no problem throwing you a shout out.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, anyways, the last one here is step 4 is the close, the showroom experience. Obviously, this is as close to a car deal as you're ever going to get. You've got somebody there. So use all these assets, use all these images that you've created to create a different environment on the showroom floor. If you've done model reviews, you can have, like you see here, an iPod kiosk that sits next to the cars in your showroom floor. So as I stroll up next to your Camry, you've got a Camry video there. It just makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, right? So understand, again, that it's not about getting somebody to stop and watch the video. Let's say I walk by that Camry video. I don't watch it, but it's presented well. I know you made it, and it's featured well on your showroom floor. Is it possible that it still had an effect on my perception of your dealership's value? I would certainly argue it does, right? So understand that videos are not just about getting people to watch them. It's about getting people to be aware that you made them. Use your video assets to stand out. And this could mean that you take snippets, pictures out of your videos and create posters. So you have smiling faces with quotes on them all over your dealership, right? Why would you not do that? You have a testimonial, somebody said something nice. You have 30 frames a second. Pick a good one, print it, put a quote on there, right? Social proof. Merchandise your showroom floor with not only videos but images, but whatever you can do to show them that, hey man, I've gone above and beyond here. And then lastly, make sure you have iPads or a Microsoft equivalent loaded with your value statements that you can hand to customers. Hey Dana, I'm gonna go check right now on that price that you asked about. I'll be right back here. In the meantime, check out this video on the blind spot monitoring thing that I never actually showed you on our test drive. So then the blind spot monitor video plays, and then what comes on after it? A string of testimonials, right? You come back, the customer's engaged, listening to why other people bought from you. It's a simple trick. I'm not saying that's the reason to do videos. I'm saying if you've done videos and you're not also doing that, you're bleeding money. Okay, the last one, which is obviously the most fun, is the remarketing. Remarketing is powerful. It's intense. If you're going to have a customer come to your website and you're not going to follow them around, you can basically follow a customer you're remarketing around with 15 video plays, and it will quite literally cost you somewhere in the ballpark of $2 or $3. So $2 to talk to your customer for 10 days after they're on your website, whether they bought or not, right? Obviously, that's probably the icing on your entire marketing budget. That's the sweet spot. That's the cheapest, most effective part of your entire budget. And the only barrier to entry is you have to have content to play to them in those instances. But remarketing, if you're not remarketing the audience, you already paid thousands of dollars to get to your website once. That is not different than your sales guys not calling back the leads on your lot, right? Can we agree on that?
Right.
I mean, you have to follow up, and that includes digitally, not just phone calls. So understand it's the most effective dollar in your budget, and that great targeting, which Facebook provides, needs targeted content in order to take advantage of it. It doesn't do you any good to target dog lovers, which is one of the videos Matt made, if your video is about how you have a $99 lease. You've wasted it. Just show that to everybody, right? So if you want to take advantage of targeting, you need to take advantage of targeted content. Dominate your customer's attention. And I use the word dominate not loosely. Like I said, some of our clients have 40 ads. It's a domination level. If you go to their website and then you click around, everywhere you go on Facebook, you not only get another message from them, but a different message from them. So like Grant Cardone says, my favorite quote is, don't compete, dominate. If your customers are doing what they're doing, do 40 times more than that. And Facebook will actually help you without much effort make sure those videos are in front of your customers. And then don't burn your copy. This is really important. We talked about this a little bit before, but like when Matt Welch does his fireman video, he doesn't tee off in August and play it to every single fireman, because then that copy's burned and it's not good in October. So what he does is he sits on his fireman video for 2 years and only plays it to the chunk of firemen that are in market or on his remarketing list. So it makes it a very, very small list, but he's got 40 different campaigns running, right? So make sure that if you're going to make content like this for a new mom, don't blast it out to every new, well, actually new mom's a bad example, because every month you'll have a different group of new moms, right? So that one revolves on its own. But if it's firemen, you don't want to blast it out to every single fireman. You want to sit back and talk to that 10% of that audience that's actually in market. And that's going to help your ads stay relevant for years, and it's going to help your budget be as accurate and powerful as it can be, because you're talking to people that actually sell a car to. Did you hear all that? It said my audio popped out.
No, your audio is fine. You're doing great.
I think it's stressing me out. It keeps telling me it's cutting out. All right, cool.
No, it hasn't cut out yet.
All right. That's like the 4th time I mentioned it. All right. Well, I'll ignore that from now on. So like I said, don't burn your copy, though. I can't stress that enough. I started sharing our Facebook targeted affinity ads with a bunch of ad companies to get their input on it and enlist them as resellers. And none of them could make sense of what I was doing because all they could see is this paradigm where you build copy to burn it with the spend and then move on to the next project. And that's not what we want to do. We want to create a library of content, of functional, relevant ads, and sit back and show them to people who are in market so that we don't have to change that content out each month. Massively, massively important that people understand what I mean by that. So now, if I want to make a video about a new mom, I can use that video for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Rather than using it one time. Mm-hmm. Which that's what's been missing for a lot of people in creating their own ad content is that it's a new project. Every month you have to start over. Well, not if you see it in this paradigm. All right, we have another poll question.
Hey, there's that second poll question. I was wondering when it was going to come up. All right, audience, we want to know, how vehicle obsessed is your marketing, BDC, and your website? How vehicles obsessed? Please select one of the following. We know we sell cars, but we always sell ourselves first. We focus on vehicles, but also on ourselves where we can. Customers want to talk about vehicles, so that's what we do. Or we don't have any real value statements online, so we only talk about cars. So once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll and share the results. How vehicle obsessed is your marketing, your BDC, and your website? The votes are coming in nice and fast. Thank you so much. Also, Andrew, I want to let you know we do have a number of questions from the audience, so we're going to try and keep the answers as quick as possible so we can get to as many as we can.
Gotcha.
Before we hit, before people start getting mad at me for keeping them too long. But this information is wonderful. I mean, I got a lot of comments that it's too good to leave. So everyone's still hanging on. So we're going to keep going, all right? All right, audience, thank you so much for your votes. Let's close this poll and share the results. Here we go. All right, 28% of today's audience says, we know we sell cars, but we always sell ourselves first. So that was over a quarter of today's attendance. But the majority, 58% of today's audience say we focus on vehicles, but also on ourselves where we can. Now, only 5% of today's audience say customers only want to talk about vehicles, so that's what we do. And 10% of today's audience say we don't have any other real value statements online, so we just talk about cars. We just post our cars and let the cars do the talking for us.
Well, at least they're honest about it.
Well, yeah. So I guess my question is, which one are we aspiring to?
I would say the majority is probably right. I mean, if you focus in saying that they do where they can. I mean, I don't think you can. I think you can hurt yourself by forcing too much conversation about you and not enough about the car. Mm-hmm. But I think the impetus in your mind needs to be how you're going to involve your own value proposition. So I'm probably with the 58% that says, they do what they can, but they're not going to cost themselves a sale to rattle on about themselves.
All right. All right. Where do we go from here, sir?
Okay. So I got some action items that you guys can have as takeaways.
I love it.
Make sure your employees know your dealership's value proposition and clear about how to present it. Now that one's age old. Everybody knows that. Make sure your customers are aware of your value proposition and are clear about what it means to them. That really cannot be done by digitally unless they're in the showroom floor without video. Make sure your website path to your VDPs features those value propositions, testimonials, and reasons to buy from you. In other words, don't let me come to your lot, get the information, and get back in my car. If I did that on your real lot, you'd be throwing staplers at salespeople. So don't give your website company permission to allow that to happen.
Okay.
Make sure your third-party listings feature video, your BDC emails feature video, and also your showroom experience. Understand your touch points when it comes to customers, and make sure you find a way to bake your value proposition in. Otherwise, TrueCar does a better job of sorting your cars and delivering pricing. So those are the action items that are there. I know we talked about a lot, but ask yourself, what is my value proposition? Bake it into a video and bake it into your website and bake it into your process. It won't cost you a dime to show these impressions to the most targetable in-market interested in a product you sell, customers that are out there. So it's an opportunity that people really can't afford to miss. All right. And then I've got an additional giveaway that I want to offer literally every single person that's here still. We have a relatively generic brand of videos that I think I can show them to you ahead of time that you guys will really like. It's a 2-part series on service, 5 sales department related value statements, an 8-part FAQ series about financing a car. It's questions like, how do I get the lowest payment, and can I buy a car with no money down, and I'm divorced, can I get a car in my own name, and actual landing page construction and support for all of those videos on your website, monthly analytics about your video use, and customization of each of those videos to your own logos and branding and contact information, right? The reason that I'm doing this is I want to come back to you guys after 60 days and show you the results you are able to get with a very generic product that we actually, made. It's very good. It's just very generic, but a customer watching it wouldn't know that it was generic because it's already branded and styled to you. And we can talk about what other videos might be, or you can get information about how it went and kind of gauge where you think you should invest on your own based on the results you got with this series. So, if you guys are interested in this, email. I'll be sending out an email to everyone that invite them to take me up on this offer. If you're interested and in a hurry, feel free to email me. But this is completely free, no catches, no gimmicks. It's a 15-part series for 60 days that I'll work to put on your website, and then we'll sit back and talk about the results.
Wow.
Fair deal.
Audience, if I were you, I would take him up on that free offer. That sounds amazing, Andrew. That's very, very generous.
Well, I wouldn't say it's generous. I'm trying to prove a point. I'm trying to win an argument here. People need this stuff, and they won't believe me, but I want to get them 60 days worth of data.
All right, well, I think it sounds great. So what do you want them to do? You want them to email you directly?
Yeah, if you guys are excited to, email me right now. I'll reach out to you first, but I'm going to have my office send out an email to everyone who registered to offer them this offer so that you guys, you can engage with that email and write back, and we'll get it set up for you.
Okay, and you'll see his email again in just a couple more slides, but it's amyers@whatsnext.pro.
Yep.
All right. Well, what else do you have for us?
We're ready.
We're ready? Big yellow question mark? Hey now. All right, audience, I know we already have a lot of great questions from you, and I know we're very over time. So we're going to try and get to those as quickly as we can. Right now, though, I want to direct your attention over to the handouts section of the GoToWebinar interface. In that handout section, you're going to find 2 handouts that are available for immediate download. They're available until the end of this broadcast, which won't be for very long. So get to that handout section and download those 2 handouts. One of them is today's deck. So Andrew's slide deck from today. And the other one is a handout about testimonials. Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like questions to ask and things to set up.
It's what to tell the customer to help calm them and give them the right advice. It's what to ask the customer, and it's how to set that shot up so that you get a great looking video.
Hey, there you go. All right, so thank you so much for that, Andrew. And so like I said, look on your GoToWebinar interface, look for the word that says handouts. It's probably on the lower end of your interface. And then what you want to do is click on the little triangle next to the word handouts. It'll open up, and there you'll be able to download those 2 handouts until the end of this broadcast. All right? All right, now I wish I had some game show music. Let's go to the next slide, because it's that time, everyone. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, well, I announced that our good friends over at What's Next Media, they're giving away a fun prize on today's webinar. One of you lucky webinar attendees is going to win a free Smooth cell phone camera stabilizer. Show them what it looks like, Andrew. It's on the next slide. So whether you do testimonials or walkarounds or BDC video emails or all of them, this portable equipment gives your videos a professional look every time. It's super cool. So get ready, get to your keyboards. The first person to write in the correct response is going to be winning this awesome prize today. Now, as you know, if you're a vendor, we're going to ask you to kindly sit this one out. This prize is intended for dealership personnel only. We do love having you on the DealerOn webinars, though, and you're always welcome, of course. But right now, dealership personnel that's out there, we want to tell you to perk up and get those fingers on the keyboard. First person to write in the correct response is going to win that cool prize. Here we go, everyone. Good luck. What is Andrew Meyer's viral video nickname? Nope. Oh, there we go. Brian Keegan, first one to get it in. That's right, Mr. Wronghouse. Brian Keegan, nice Italian name, I think. Brian Keegan is our winner today. I don't recall you ever winning on my show before. Are you a first-time winner? And what dealership are you from, sir? First time. Hey, Bri, congratulations.
Time for everything.
He is with Smale Acura. Is that like in, where's that? Is that in Maryland area or something? I feel like I know where Smale Acura is, but of course I don't. Smale Acura. That's it. It's official. I wrote it down for you. It's at home of Jeff Ravia. It's in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. I knew it sounded familiar. Okay, so Brian Keegan, you are our winner today. You're going to be hearing from our very good friends over at What's Next Media about your prize. They're going to be contacting you about that, so congratulations. Andrew, do you need me to get a mailing address from him?
Yes, if you could, that'd be great. Because I'm probably going to, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, Bri. Hey, send me a mailing address, my friend, and your prize is going to be coming directly from What's Next Media. Now, for everyone else, I know we gave away a cool prize. You know what? You guys are already winners. You're going to get that awesome giveaway that Andrew talked about just a moment ago. But if you'd like a cool prize on another DealerOn webinar, well, you got to do a few things. You got to register. You got to show up, and you got to be the first person to answer a correct question, a giveaway question. So you know what? Come on back to another DealerOn webinar, and that might be the day that you win a cool prize on a DealerOn webinar. But for right now, we're going to thank Brian Keegan from Smale Acura because he had the fastest fingers in the house. Congratulations, Brian. And of course, we got to thank our good friends at What's Next Media for their incredible generosity. All right. You ready, Andrew? Mr. Wronghouse?
Did you say something yes, wrong first? What was the first guess?
Mr. Wrong.
Oh,
it was so close, but I couldn't give it. It was Mr. Wronghouse. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to this first question. First question comes in from Renee. Renee says, oh, you could go to the next slide, by the way. Renee says, what is typically the best amount of time for length of a video?
It depends on format. So I would say advertising videos, you want 30 seconds. 40 seconds, 20 seconds, short, commercial sized. I would say when it comes to value statements and stuff like that, you want to be at about 1:20. There's a lot of research that suggests that right around 1:10 or 50 seconds, right around in there, customers tend to look down at the bottom and see how much time they have left. So I have not read this in any research, but it's my inclination to believe that you want them to look down and see that they're over halfway there. If they look down after a minute and they're only 40% done, they just instantly bounce. So you want to make sure that you keep them somewhere between 30 seconds for ads and 1.5 minutes or so for feature length value statement videos, and somewhere in between. Definitely never longer than 2 or 3 minutes unless you have got a band or some great content in the middle that sucks up all that time. Anything more than 2 minutes of talking and people are out, which means they don't watch your second video. So there's a lot on the line.
Okay. Renee, thank you so much for the question. Actually, she had a follow-up question too. She says, is it best to create your own how-to videos as opposed to the OEM ones created for the customer? I feel like it's more personal when a dealership creates their own. I would have to agree with her, but you're the expert. So what do you think?
Well, I think for one, let's answer it this way. Let's say you don't have the ability to create your own, right? So you can use the factories and take credit for them as long as you basically grab them and put them on your website the way we showed you would do it if you had made your own, right? Because then you're at least procuring that content for somebody. So that's the low-hanging fruit. Just use the factory ones, but set them up in a way that you can still text them to people using a link from your website. You can still put them in BDC emails. People can still find them as part of your content when they're looking at your other content. So at least do that, because that's very free and easy, right? Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, I agree that, like I've said, I don't think you're there to sell the feature. I think you're there to sell yourself. So you just use the video as an opportunity to sell yourself, which means it has to be you in the video.
Okay. Hey, Andrew, thank you so much for answering Renee's question, but can you go forward a couple slides to the slide that has your headshot on it and all your contact information? There we go. All right. All right, next question. Let's see. Okay, Renee wrote back in. She says, I handle all the graphics, social, and video for a growing dealer group. We currently have a BDC that was recently hired on. What, in your opinion, is a successful amount of people to create this team to effectively succeed? That's a hard.
I imagine she needs to create videos, right?
Well, I read it exactly as she wrote it. So, yeah. I mean, how many people do you think it takes to do, to create content, for a dealer group?
I've got 12 employees, and only 2 of them run a camera for me. Most of them are script writers and researchers for the model stats and stuff like that. So I guess my point is, for a dealership's need, you really don't need more than one person. You need an accomplished person that has a mind for what customers will find interesting and knows a little bit about editing and a little bit about production. And then if you need help steering this person along, you can reach out to us. We've got production manuals and stuff like that. But from a cost-benefit point of view, unless you're a bigger dealership or you've got some larger goals or you've got an expert in the mix somewhere, it's going to be easier to find one capable person than it is to build a team that's going to work well together.
Okay. All right, Renee, thank you for all the great questions. They came in nice and early, too. Virginia has the next one. She says, like Anne, I also do all of the social, graphic design, website management, and all the content that goes along with that, which can get overwhelming. Is it sufficient to say that have an in-house content person needs to extend to more than just one person? So I think you kind of covered it, but...
Well, no, because what she's talking about is different. I meant just the video creation people, but she just described 5 jobs. I mean, the fact that she can do it all is probably unique to her, right? I mean, most dealerships are not going to look, you can't put all those things in a job listing and expect to find very many candidates. So,
Virginia's kind of a rock star over here. Man, you're right. That is more than one job. I mean, at the very least, it's 3 jobs. Virginia, you're doing the work of 3 people, at least, if not 5.
What I think a dealership really needs is somebody like her who is the direct supervisor of this other single person camera person, right? Mm-hmm. Telling them what to make, how to use it, and her having the connection between what they make and how she's going to use it. Because that's the most important part. If you get a single person and they just run around and make videos about coffee and things, whatever is in their head, you're not connecting it to literally where and how you're going to use that video. So I think the best practice is somebody like her telling a videographer what to make and how and when to have it done by.
Virginia, you need somebody to work under you. Good luck, my friend. I wish you the best. Oh, my goodness. You must be exhausted when you get home every night. Okay, next question comes from Shelby. Shelby says, how do you find willing customers to be in the videos? That's a great question. Do you have to give them free car washes for a week or something? What do you have to do?
Well, yeah, that's kind of it. I think the big one is that when I approach a customer for a testimonial, I say, would you mind helping the dealership out? I know it would really mean a lot to them. And then the next thing I say is, this is not a TV commercial. You'd be amazed how much that's the phobia people have. They just don't describe it. And I go, these are just going to be web videos that they send to other customers so that they know that these guys aren't terrible people, which I'm sure you can agree with. And it's a loaded question, but I say it about like that every single time. And the important bits there are the dealership will really, really appreciate this from you. And I won't put you on TV per se. These are just for some web videos to send out to customers who are considering buying a car, right? And I had pretty good luck with that. I mean, I think part of it is the behavior or the attitude you bring to it so that you're acting like it's really not a big deal. I mean, if you're asking them and you act like it's, building you a house, then they're gonna respond with that same sort of idea. But if you just make it sound like it's no big deal and just go, and then the other thing to tell them is, I'm going to ask you questions, and all you have to do is simply respond. I don't expect you to launch into a whole thing, because that's their biggest fear is that they don't know what to say, and then you're going to stick them on TV looking stupid. So just tell them, I'm going to edit this. I'll make you look cool. I won't put it on TV, and I'm the one asking you all these questions. All you got to do is sit back and answer them. It's just questions like, how'd you get here? And I just make it sound like it's nothing, and you'd be surprised. I mean, I can pretty much get a testimonial out of anybody that isn't vehemently opposed no matter what I would have done.
Okay, got it. All right, Shelby, I hope that helps you out. All right, we still have a ton of great questions, so let's try and pick up the pace a little bit. Sabrina has the next question. What do you think of YouTube's Director app?
I think I need to Google that.
Oh, it's really cool. All right, well, I'll answer, Sabrina. It's really cool, and you should totally try it out. Because I did a presentation on that with somebody from YouTube. Okay, so Sabrina, yeah, it's really
cool. I know what I'm doing when I get over here.
Okay. Josh has the next question. Do you use a DSLR to shoot? And what is your go-to equipment camera, gimbal, etc. when shooting?
Wait, say that again? You cut out just a little bit there.
Josh said, do you use a DSLR to shoot? And what is your go-to equipment, camera, gimbal, etc. when shooting?
So I'd rather not answer this question because it's going to bust a bubble on me. But yeah, I think that on a lot, I've had dealers ask me, like, I thought you were going to come with a $50,000 camera. And I'm standing there with a Canon 5D. And I told them the only reason you think that is because my videos look that good. I mean, the fact is, if you know what you're doing with a Canon, you can make it look like a $50,000 camera. So yeah, DSLRs are 100% the way to go. But I can tell you this, the camera doesn't matter as much as the lens. So focus on what's called a prime lens. They're much less expensive. They don't zoom in and out, and they have a really high aperture. They're less expensive because they don't zoom, and it allows you to really blur the background behind the customer, and it looks amazing. It looks very filmy, which is why all of our stuff kind of has that look. It's not the camera, it's the lens. So for that reason, go with a DSLR because you can invest in the right lens and get that $50,000 look. And if you're going to be climbing in and out of cars and having a camera on the lot, you want the least expensive, most capable option out there because it will get dinged up.
Oh, okay, great. Josh, thank you for the question. He has he has a follow-up question. So does Allison, same question basically. The question is, what was the name of the 30 frame second Facebook group?
So it's 30 FPS automotive salesperson.
Well, that's a long name.
Well, it is.
30 FPS automotive salesperson.
Yeah, so the idea behind the group is that a lot of people for years called videos slideshows. So it's a group for people who are building real videos, 30 frames per second, actual videos. And there's people there that share the videos they've sent to customers, the targeting they use, and stuff like that. It's just sort of a place for us to brag about successes and get advice when it comes to making real live video.
Okay. Josh also has another follow-up question. He says, what is your MM lens you like and AMP you suggest? Well, now you're just throwing out letters at me, Josh. What do you got, Andrew?
I think it means millimeter. I use two exclusively. We have an 85 prime, which is a pretty zoomed-in lens that allows you to get back and get a nice headshot out of somebody and really blow out the background behind them and pull them off of the background, which makes a big difference. And then the other one I have is a 28 millimeter prime lens, which is a really wide lens. And again, they're really quality glass. You can get both of them for about $500, and they would cost thousands if they were zoomable lenses. So what sucks about them is you can't zoom in and zoom out. You got to move the camera around. But that's an easy thing to get around to get to the right price point. So yeah, I use an 85 prime and I use a 28 prime, and I can kind of combine those two looks. I use the 28 to shoot B-roll, and I use the 85 to shoot interviews.
Okay, and the AMP, the aperture, whatever.
I don't know if AMP means, I'm not real familiar with what AMP would be, but yeah, I think he means aperture, and I shoot wide open, baby. I'll take whatever that lens will give me because I want to blow that background out behind the customer, and I want them to be in as sharp a focus as possible, and it really creates a style and a look to do that. So we actually have what's called an ND filter. It's kind of a long story, but it'll restrict some of the light that comes in. So if you go too wide open on your aperture and you're letting in too much light, this will help you kind of restrict that so you can still run the lens wide open.
All right, Josh, thank you so much for the interesting questions. I hope that helped you out. Okay, next question comes from Sabrina. I think you might have already answered this, but let's ask it anyway. She says, what are some tips to get customers to share their thoughts on our process and the testimonials you referred to earlier? So I know we have that handout, and I feel like that kind of covers it, but is there anything that maybe isn't in the handout that you can also throw at Sabrina?
The big one is we touched on this a little bit earlier. You want the customer to talk in the syntax of what is important to them. So if you say to a customer, describe why our trade-in process is great, I mean, that's a mouthful. You know what I mean? But if you say to a customer, explain why having a hands-on appraisal of your car is important to you, and is it important to you, does it even matter? Then you'll get this great soundbite about why that virtue matters, and you can follow that up with, did you feel like that was the experience here, and did that really make a difference to you? Then when you edit those two together, what you get is it really matters that I have my car inspected. You know, I want to know what it's really worth, not just what some book value says it's worth. And so these guys, I feel like I got the right value, and it really did make a difference to me. Bang. And it sounds like one soundbite, but you got the real emotional stuff about the value you want to sell out of them by just talking about it in general and not about it terms of what you did.
Okay. Thank you so much. Great question, Sabrina. I hope that helped you out. Now we're going to keep rolling with this. So remember, let's try and keep it quick, okay? Okay. By the way, Renee wrote back and she said, fantastic info about this. My brain is running wild. Well, Renee, we wish you the best of luck with your video endeavors coming up. All right. Next question. It's Josh again. Josh says, if a DIY, a do-it-yourself, independent used dealership, a one-man show, wanted to start doing videos with budget gear, would you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere. I would recommend with a cell phone. I mean, that's your first step of budget gear. Obviously, a small independent could still qualify for this video giveaway that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some license packages that we have specifically for independents that I think are probably literally cost less than trying to do it yourself, and you get a full package from us. But yeah, no matter what the question is, I recommend that people start getting into video because of what I said earlier. Every video you make, you get better at. So you need to start stocking that experience up now, regardless of what equipment you have.
All right. Josh, best of luck. And by the way, I've seen some pretty incredible videos that have been shot on a cell phone. So I think you're in good shape. Best of luck, sir. Okay, next question. It's from Sabrina again. Sabrina says, should content be added with the video landing page describing the content of the video, similar to how we tag the videos on YouTube? I believe you already answered that, and that one's yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, the answer is yes, Sabrina.
We have some dealers that their model review landing pages, they sort of go nuts below the video and add kind of like a landing page about the model. They put pictures and stats and, you know, links and maybe even VDPs in there. Yeah, that's all fine. You just want to make sure that when I land there, what I feel is the same thing I feel when I hit a YouTube page. Like, you're not trying to sell me anything. You're just sharing some content with me that presumably I'm already interested in. So you don't want to get it too salesy, but yes.
Okay, I like this. Thank you, Sabrina. I like this next question comes in from Amanda. She says, I have a question about the best way to title your videos. Is there a good formula? And also, what's the most effective use of tags on YouTube and Facebook videos?
Well, there's no short answer for the most effective use of tags because it's obviously conditional based on a lot of different factors, what your goals are, and, you know, all that. So that's a tough one to answer. And when it comes to titles, what I've found is that not only titles, but also like if you're going to run it as an ad, I try to ask an opt-in question. Does pricing really matter to you? Because then in reading the title, they can opt into the video, right? So I found that selling toys door to door, that it's always best to ask them, hey, do you like purple? Do you have kids? And if they say yes, bang, then here it is. You know what I mean? I got this for you. So, I find the best way to title videos is literally to ask an opt-in question. Is a great experience important to you? Is your time valuable to you? Do you want the most for your trade-in? And the video is the answer.
It's kind of hard to say no to any of those questions, though.
It's a trick question.
It's a trick question. Amanda, trick questions, that's the answer. Okay, I hope that helps you out. All right, next question.
Well, another answer there would be SEO value. And it depends on how you want to use it. You either want to go for like an exact match SEO term so it'll show up where somebody's looking for something else, or you want to title it that way if you're going to control how they see it. And you don't need to search for it.
Okay. All right, next one comes from Jerome. Jerome says, if you're a salesman at a dealership that has a weak digital value proposition and offers mainly just selection and prices, how would you, the individual salesperson, incorporate these strategies on his or her own?
Well, let's say that somebody at Faulkner Volkswagen, our DealerOn site, had the motivation to describing. They could go to the GM and get the passwords and build their own video landing pages to coincide with the ones that already exist there. So you can still basically just build your own value propositions. And if your dealership is cool, they'll let you host those right into the back end of the site where, maybe the navigation wouldn't be there from the home screen, but you could still link somebody into your player tool and have all your videos sort of co-located there just like we do already and just sort of bypass the dealership's value propositions, right? Or the option always exists to find a different dealership. I mean, I'm not giving that as advice, but if you feel like you can't motivate, if you feel like there's a core thing that needs to happen at a dealership to help you succeed and you can't make that thing happen, throw some resumes out there.
Ooh, Jerome. All right, Andrew's throwing down the gauntlet now. All right, Jerome,
Well,
we wish it.
I mean, the best alternative is to make it happen, right? But if you're giving him good advice and you know you're right and you can't get it to be accepted, man, there's a lot of dealerships out there.
I can't disagree with him, Jerome. We wish you the best of luck, sir. I see you have a follow-up question coming up in just a little bit. We'll get to it soon. All right, next question comes in from Patrick. He says, how many videos per week should we be creating?
I don't think that's you know, I don't think there's a simple, solid, baked-in answer for that. It's different for everybody, and it also depends on which types of videos you're making and how you intend on using them. I mean, you don't need to make even one testimonial every week, but I feel like having 2 or 3 or 4 testimonials come out a month would really help, right? So it depends. I mean, if you're making CRM videos, let me put it to you this way. I don't think you need to sit down and and worry about having 1 or 2 videos every week. I think you'd be better served to sit down with your GM and make 30 ads or make 25 CRM situations or do a weekend where you do 6 testimonials. Now, the sequence of how you release those to your audience could be 2 a week, 3 a week, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think what matters is not looking at videos as creating them as a one-at-a-time thing, and look at some of these bigger projects that are out there that you can do inside your dealership to create a content batch that you can release all at once or over time or whatever you feel. So it depends which type of content and what your goals are. But I think as a rule of thumb, you're going to want to put something new out once or twice a week if you can affect that and you make that happen. I don't see why you wouldn't want to stick to that. But we also have clients personally that don't put out, they put out basically whenever a new model comes out, we put that on their channel, but they don't make reoccurring videos and have a ton of success. They sit on the same value propositions for 2 or 3 years. They update the model videos as they come out, and they don't do anything else. That's probably 90% of our clients. So I don't think that the need to create something new all the time is baked into the need to, you know, it's not a prerequisite to success.
Okay. Patrick, thank you so much for your questions. Actually, he has a follow-up question here. He says, we have over 20 dealerships and are looking to create videos for everyone. Do you think it's a good idea to have individuals at dealerships to film the content needed and pass along the footage to one person to edit? And also, do you think it's better to have one YouTube channel for the entire group or separate channels for each dealership?
So yeah, that's the way we do it. When we tackle larger groups, we collect the footage with one videographer and we edit it all in a central place so that we can give it a uniform look and feel. So I would recommend finding an accomplished videographer or calling me and working on all 20 of those stores with a common playbook, right? And then to answer your second question, I think you need both. I think dealerships need to have individual videos, and then I think our individual channels. But I think the group as a whole could also have a channel where you make group-centric videos about the ethos and the mission statement of the whole group, and those videos could also be shared on the individual channels.
Patrick, I know a guy, if you need it. I know a guy. So let me know. His name's Andrew. I don't know if you've heard of him.
But like when bigger groups call us, I actually fly out one of my videographers, and he collects all the assets, and then he brings them back to Seattle where we work on them all. So I think you're going to want, in some way or another, a formula like that because it'll give you a uniform look across the group that way, as opposed to them all just sort of doing different things and trying it their own way.
I feel you. I feel you. Okay. Thank you so much, Patrick. Great questions. Excellent questions. If you have a follow-up, let me know. We're down to the last handful of questions now, Andrew, okay? And then we'll close out the show. Jamie has the next question. Do you recommend using software like Video IQ for the VSEO content?
You know, I have actually not really ever become an expert at video SEO. Ideology or whatever, I just hate the idea that the reason we're going to make videos is to impress Googlebot. To me, I make videos to impress customers, and that's the only real thing. That's the only way I've ever saw the business is as an opportunity to put my face and voice in front of a customer. So I've never become an expert at SEO. My aim is never, not that it doesn't happen, but my aim is never to get my clients new faces. It's to help them close the faces that they already have. So I'm probably not the right person, and I could give you an answer, but it may or may not be the best answer. So I'm probably going to decline on that one.
Okay, so you personally have never used the software that he's referring to, which is Video IQ.
Yeah, I've never used the software, but I don't even have a general view of the best way to use video for SEO. There's tons of companies out there that did that, And the fact is, I could go to their website, shop for a car, send in a lead, and go to their store and not see a single value statement about why to buy from them. So I've been allergic to the idea of creating videos for SEO purposes ever since I started. To me, videos are for advertising and in-funnel customers, not for SEM.
Right, right. All right, Jamie, thank you so much for bringing that up. I don't know, I might have to find somebody who will talk to us about VSEO at some point, since we've never actually covered that before. But thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. Okay, last couple of questions. Mark has a question. Let's bring this down to the salesperson level, especially since some of the dealers do not do this. What videos are most important to have? How do you start? And this might be quite a workload for a salesperson.
You know, it could be, and I think part of it is cross-pollinating these job titles when you're buying them or when you're hiring them. You know, I think if I owned a dealership, I would be looking to recruit videographers who often have their own business and don't have a very steady clientele, and trying to find one of these people and then talk them into coming and working for me and sell cars. Show them the guys that are in my store that make the big dollars, show them a better, more stable career, and tell them I won't stop you from being a videographer. You can still moonlight on the side, and the dealership will pay you to make content for them. So in other words, don't take a sales guy who's barely grasped the whole art of being a sales guy and try to teach him another job. Find somebody who has the skill sets that you're looking for and try to hire them to be a sales guy. I think that's honestly the very, very best way. It is a bit of a workload, but the very first videos that dealerships need to make is easier than answering what the first video is a sales guy needs to make, because he needs to know how to use that video on customers. So I'd say the very first video would be just a bio video. Hey, this is what motivates me. This is what gets me going in the morning. You know, this is why I come to work. This is what I enjoy about my job. And this is the promise that I'll make to you if you work with me. The other ones would be like bird dog and referral videos to send out to existing clients. And then the very best video that every sales guy should make is go out in front of the store at night, borrow or steal a lot coat, zip that lot coat all the way to the bottom of your neck so that people can't see what tie and shirt you're wearing, so they can't tell if it was the one that you were wearing the day they saw you, and then go, hey, I just wanted to leave this. I'm about to get out of here tonight and go back home to the family, but I wanted to just take a moment and thank you for stopping out here tonight. I hope I got you all the information that you wanted, and obviously, you know, I'm going to follow up with you here tomorrow, but I just wanted to take a moment before I get out of here and say thank you for giving me the time today. If you have any questions about stuff I didn't cover, then call me. Now, what did I not say? The customer's name, the date, the vehicle, right? So I can make this video one time and literally wait till 9 p.m. and send it to every single up I touch on the lot forever.
Okay, but wouldn't you have to, like, I mean, I love that idea, but you have to, like, make one for, like, the summer months and make another one for the winter months, right?
Yeah, you might have to if you do it right, though, you just, all I see is the door to your showroom, the car is in the showroom, your face, and your coat. So it could be any month. And we also do videos like this for, like, BDC managers where we'll grab a Burger King cup so it looks like it's breakfast and go, hey, I just got in this morning and got your lead. You got coffee there. And then you do one for lunch 10 minutes later with a McDonald's, you know, and it looks like lunch. Hey, I just got back from lunch and I saw you send in a lead. You know, Elise actually gave me that advice. And so it really works. You know, it really makes sense to the customer. They perceive it as a video you made just for them because you mentioned a relevant time of their request. It's a really cool trick. So I would say, I would really honestly, I'd start there, because a salesperson should be making videos that are basically voicemails. It's basically just them talking to the customer. There shouldn't be a lot of production value involved. So it really shouldn't be something that bogs them down or consumes their time.
All right. Mark, thank you so much for that amazing question. Last question, my friend, and then we will close this up. It says, other Josh here, not the same Josh as before, other Josh, says, is there any best practices for salespeople sending personal videos to their customers about the cars that they have inquired about? And you know what else? I know a lot of people struggle with the subject line. So
yeah,
think like a salesperson. What video? I mean, what would you recommend? Best practices.
Well, you know, honestly, I think what matters is making the video consumable. If you want to reach out and talk to a customer, you need to have you need to have an understanding that you're not going to just send them a YouTube link. So honestly, I think BombBomb or a product similar to BombBomb is great. And when it comes to best practices, you know, I mentioned before, Elise Kephart really has dialed all of this in. I mean, it's a prescription that she can give you via playbook. And a lot of that just comes down to being engaging, and from my perspective, being engaging, being likable, and understanding that it's all about what you can do for the customer. So you have to reference anything they told you. Hey, you mentioned kids. Hey, you mentioned a dad. Hey, you mentioned that you were busy. Hey, you mentioned you were looking for a lot of cars. We have a great selection. Hey, you said you didn't have much time. We respect your time. So show them you're listening, comment on something that they said in the email, no matter how minute it was, and make sure you're smiling, you look fun, and you're selling yourself with this video. Don't get distracted and try to sell somebody a car with a video. You know, you're using their interest in a car to sell yourself. And if you focus on that and you focus on a good platform to get that video in front of the customer so they can still reach out to you once they've watched it, then I think those are your two focuses.
I think that's great advice. Thank you so much. And other Josh, I hope that helped you out. And yes, if you'd like to know more about Elise Kephart's, you can check it out at dealeron.com/webinar. Of course, that last one that Elise Kephart did was a record-breaking webinar for us, and she went through her entire internet process. So I believe it's called Elise Kephart's Entire Internet Process 2.0. So you can check that out. Okay. Also, I wanted to let you know, Andrew, Sabrina wrote in one last time. She said, this has been so incredibly informative. Thank you for hosting this webinar. So thank you, Sabrina, for coming and checking it out. We appreciate it. We are so glad you enjoyed it. All right, Andrew, I have to say, not too shabby for a DealerOn webinar version. You did great. Thank you so much.
This made me more nervous than like any of the sessions I've done with 100 actual eyes staring at me.
I highly doubt that. But you know what? You knocked it out of the park, my friend. Thank you so much. I knew you were going to do great. I just knew it. So hopefully this won't be the last time we see you on the DealerOn webinar series. I would love it. Okay, so I want to remind the audience, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is going to be available to you later today. It's going to be emailed to you, or you can just go online within 24 hours to dealeron.com/webinars to view our upcoming webinar schedule or access any of our past webinars too. And we're going to send you out a survey in just a moment. Click. Go, Andrew. Click to the next one. Fill out that survey. I mean, hey, I love today's webinar, but we want to know, my opinion doesn't count actually. We want to know what you thought of today's broadcast, okay? So please fill out the questionnaire. It's 3 short questions, really, really short. So please fill it out. It really helps us out. And of course, we would love to see if there's any topics that you would also be interested in that maybe we should cover. All right, so tell us what you think. On July 19th, David Kane and Jennifer Suzuki and Corey Mosley, no strangers to this show, all 3 of them. Well, guess what? They're hosting an amazing conference in sunny Irvine, California to help dealerships get the most out of their digital side. These 3 powerhouse figures in automotive are sharing their experiences and knowledge with you in the Internet Sales Performance Summit. And you know what? DealerOn's very own Sean Raines, also known as The Hair, is going to be a featured speaker at the show. He'll be talking about the impact of search engines on your dealership. Don't miss this one, guys. For more info, check out InternetSalesPerformanceSummit.com. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar. Listen, look at this title. Make 2017 your best year yet in just 10 steps. Now, even though we're already halfway through the year, guess what? We all know succeeding in the auto industry is hard, and dealers today face a multitude of challenges ranging from shrinking vehicle profit margins to decreased brand loyalty to a lack of job quality job applicants and beyond. However, with the right strategies and proven tactics, it's not too late to make 2017 your best year yet. In this fast-paced 1-hour webinar, Justin Brunn and Ben Kohler will present 10 essential focus areas dealerships must perfect to overcome the most difficult challenges today and set their dealership up for immediate success. This comprehensive presentation will give your strategies and tactics that are practical, dealership proven, and will ensure your success. Focus on these 10 key areas and become one of those elite dealerships who enjoy real success in the coming years while others continue to struggle. If you want to make 2017 your best year yet in just 10 steps, then do yourself a favor and attend this jam-packed presentation. You're going to thank yourself later. And don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding the DealerOn webinars and our topics, hey, feel free to contact me. I would love to hear from you. I am all over the place online. I'm on LinkedIn, Google, Plus, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. I'm everywhere. You can track me down online. Oh, I'm also on all the automotive social networks as well. Or you know what? Make it easy on yourself. Just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on another webinar in DealerOn's continuing education series. Take care, and I'll catch up with you soon.